Hello, everybody. It's Ina Montgomery of Urban Tech, a Digi sis in a Digi world. And because we're in a Digi world, there was a video recording, unfortunately, of um, of a black man being shot. And I'm trying to get my story right, but I want to lift the names of four black men: Stephen Taylor, shot in Walmart, Ahmaud Arbery, just simply jogging in his neighborhood, Kit Diggs, and I was looking up the other name, but they were the two black men who had on their masks to protect themselves from the pandemic in Walmart, and they were asked to leave the store. And Kip in particular chose the pastel color, which was powder blue, thinking, okay, I want to make sure I'm not intimidating or looking. However, he and the guy he was with were asked to leave. So as we continue through this pandemic and this supposed new normal, it appears that some things just don't change, especially with Ahmed, well, really with all of them, but with Ahmed Arbery just running in his own neighborhood, similar to a Trayvon Martin, and gunned down for what reason? So, in this digital world, we still have concerns of digital, I don't know, fairness, or I don't even know what to call it, because it's just so heartbreaking that these men, two men, I'm sorry, have lost their lives for what reason. And even the homeowner with Ahmed Arbery spoke on TV yesterday, and he was saying he didn't ask them to protect his home, number one. Number two, it was a home being built. It was not even a home that was finished. It was a home that doesn't even have walls or doors or anything. It was just a framework. And nobody made those two men, the father and son team, judge and jury, and gave them the right or the authority to go and shoot down this man. So anyway, heart is heavy in regards to that. So I'm kind of taking a break from the regular show. Um, I did want to, however, so now I'm just thinking about how can we use technology, uh, and not like after the fact, but is there a way to be proactive? Is there a way for us, and I know we can't be proactive over ignorance, because that's basically what that father and son in Georgia are, just ignorant. But, how do we empower ourselves with the use of technology during this pandemic crisis, which appears at this time to have no end, no end date, there's no end game. Uh, the strands have not even been identified where they can even be treated, so a vaccine can be created. Um, so, as we, as a community, people of color community, go through these times, I guess the question is again, what can we do to be proactive and to protect ourselves, protect our children, protect our legacy, protect what our children see, because they're seeing these things happening to these black men, and I'm sure at some way it's affecting them, mentally. They're trying to be strong, they're trying to be normal, if you will. However, constantly reminded that they are black in America. So I am working on getting that 800 number, because I would love to hear from people, whoever's out there listening. So I am working on that to get an 800 number so I can get some people to call in to the show so we can have this regional, local, national discussion on topics. Again, related to K-12 education technology, but also related to the things that impact and affect our community. So I was also looking, let me see. So far, just to recap for those who are maybe joining or continuing, I've had a sibling on who's taking care of her two siblings. And so we're looking at the Black family and homeschooling and how that looks. She was able to talk about how she set up a routine with her brother, with her two sisters, and how they have to share the technology. how she looks at the packets that they have. She looks at what she has to do, and she plans and she organizes the work for the day. Then I talked last week. I had a good conversation with two mothers that have three kids who are still in school, and they talked about also how they juggle between um, getting the different schedules of their kids, making sure that homework's done, making sure that schoolwork's done. And so the key points I would say from those two shows so far would definitely be to have a routine, to be an effective have an effective homeschooling environment. You need to have a routine for your kids. That is going to require a huge commitment on behalf of the parent or guardian to make sure that they're keeping up with that routine for their family members, for their school age children. Then be consistent. Then you want to be on top of the work. And so plan the work, attend any meetings that the teacher or the school may have. Make sure that the child sits down and attends to, because it is their education. So we want to be engaged with anything that the school is putting out there, and then ask questions. If there's something you don't understand as a parent, or you're not clear on as far as the direction from the teacher, definitely reach out to that teacher, send an email, do a phone call, do the chat in Zoom, but just make sure you have a clear understanding of what's expected and what's going on in your child's classroom. And then, of course, ask for homework help if you need that. There's some tutoring resources out there. And if you're not aware, then you can ask the teacher to offer some. And I'm hearing some instances where teachers are meeting with small groups of students to offer that additional tutoring, that additional assistance that they may need on their homework assignments. So a lot of opportunities for success. And that I'm also hearing from the two parents that I talked to last week and some other parents that their child student is actually doing better and actually meeting grade level expectations. And so they're excited about the chance that when the child does return back to school, that they're going to have a clear understanding of the work, be it math, science, technology, English, reading, writing. And that's the other big thing. Some parents have their kids journaling. Some have their kids setting aside 15, 20 minutes a day for reading. These are all things that we know from old school that are strategies that work. So we're looking at the reading, writing, arithmetic, the 3 R's. The parents who are being successful at home with their kids are sticking to what they know that works. And so no bells and whistles, no new math, no whatever kind of math. I'm not going to name some of the maths that I know that are out there, but it's just it's just the old 2 + 2 = 4, 4 - 2 = 2. You know, just getting your kids to understand those basic concepts is what the parents are saying that is working for them. So hopefully by now, I think 7, 8 weeks into this pandemic and homeschooling, you have figured out the successful sauce or the successful formula for being successful at home with your kids. Hopefully identifying some additional resources. In fact, next week's show, I may have on some technology resource providers, and me being one of them, talking about what I have planned for additional resources, supplemental that you can reach out for your child student. Sorry. So anyway, going back to how I started the show, and a short show today, because I again just want to have a 5-second moment of silence for those 4 young men who, I'm sorry, for the 2 young men and the other 2 who were harassed, if you will, in Walmart for wearing masks. So we'll, again, always wonder, you know, when is it going to end? When is this going to make sense? When are we going to feel as if we are a part of the greater community instead of always being singled out? And then why do our lives always have to end being killed, being in death, when for Stephen Taylor and for Ahmaud Arbery, who did absolutely nothing but mind their own business, and then to get shot for absolute no reason. So if I could just do a quick 5-second moment of silence, I'd appreciate it. Thank you for observing and honoring their lives. Thank you for your time. And again, I will see you next week. We will have either some guests or I'll provide some resources that parents can use, either local or online, to supplement their homeschooling experience with their kids. Thank you. Again, this is Ina Montgomery, Urban Tech, Executive Director, Founder, and this is my show, Digi Sis in the Digi World, and I look forward to seeing you next Thursday. Thanks. Have a good evening.